Bonjour, Robert.
Oh, bonjour.
We're out on Madeline Island. You came over last night. We saw you on the ferry. What happens to you when you come out to the island?
Well, first of all, you have to understand that where I was coming from. I was coming from the college, and things were racing through my mind, and I got up. My day started at 6 a.m. and it didn't end until um, 7:30 when I got done with my class, and then I had to um, drive over here. And on my drive over here, I was getting tired and kind of worn down a little, and thinking to myself that I says, boy, I just got to get up in the morning, I got to talk, and all that stuff going through your mind. And so anyway, when I got to the pier and I got on that boat, I went and put my tobacco down, and I asked for that health and that strength in life to keep me going. And when we got on the boat and I felt that we were out on the lake there, I looked up in the sky, and the stars were flickering. And when I was looking up at them, they were like flickering with happiness and joy. And it was like, wow. And I was like, am I feeling this, or is that really happening? And all of a sudden, we got to the island and we landed there, and I came off the island, and as soon as I put my feet on the ground, I was like, I was totally refreshed. And I was like, geez, I feel good again. Now I don't feel so tired anymore. I feel pretty good. And that's kind of what happened.
When you were when you were talking today, you mentioned that we're on a little piece of Indian land. Of course, a long time ago, it was all Indian when the Anishinaabe lived here hundreds of years ago.
Yes.
And you said, is there some way that this land here could be preserved more than, say, a postage stamp? That somehow this could be turned into a commemorative place to honor Native culture?
I think if we was to go take a grassroots activist level and and go to the 106 on historic preservation in Washington, D.C., and make a request to all of the tribes that are making this become a refuge for Anishinaabe people, for their cultural tradition, their beliefs, our connection to the earth, to the land, to the water, and to this island. Moningone Akin, is a very powerful word. If people really understood that, understood it in a way where the words kind of ring out into your mind, into your body, and it's kind of like a sound of the drum when it resonates, its sound and its voice. That's what it appears and feels to me as. But if we was to take an activist role, we need to have people that live close by here to take an active role, like the Red Cliff Band, Bad River Band, and maybe the La Pointe people to come together and converge and say, we want to protect this, and how we want to protect this is to use the repatriation and all of these acts. But I think, on the other hand, we may have our counterparts having some opposition to that. But I believe mentally, physically, and spiritually, there is a way that it can be done. And it takes all of the bands that were here, and takes all of those people from a grassroots level to take that initiative to want to push it. And how we could push it is going to our tribal governments and asking and petitioning our governments for that request to happen. People have to take initiative and a desire to want to do this. And once we do that, a lot of things can be set in place. And how it can be set in place is we may have to have public hearings. We may have to have and understand the opposition's point of view as well as our point of view to understand our own views. So it's a lengthy process, but the process can be done. It's not impossible, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to put this into a reserved state as a historic island. This area here. You know, if they really look deep down inside of this, there's already a story about this little pond here. There's a story about that golf course over there. There's a story about this. And we need to get our people to converge and to talk about those stories and document them as we are talking as today.
Robert, one more mention about the importance of the manoma and the wild rice. You mentioned a diabetic man
Yes.
in Canada went back to eating manoomin. What happened?
See what happened is what is happening today is people are beginning to revitalize their relationship with Nokomis Akin, our grandmother, the earth, and she gave us these sacred objects and these sacred medicines, and wild rice, manoomin, is a sacred medicine, same as corn. It's just that people are trying to change the genetics of that. And if they do that, it's going to disturb Gije Monidu, our creator's relationship. And so when we use this medicine, it's a way of doctoring and healing ourselves, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. We become stronger, and we need to get back to that balance, because maybe we are perhaps out of balance.
It's good seeing you, Robert.
Thank you.
This is Nick Vanderpine, Robert Van Zile, out on Madeline Island. How do you say that name in Ojibwe Moine?
The Madeline Island?
Madeline
I'm
Island.
sorry. Moningwane Akin.
The place of the yellow-breasted.
In some places there's different names for it, and some of them are called the flicker, and then there's the yellow-breasted flicker. So there's different names for it, as well as different names for trees.
This is Nick Vanderpine, Robert Van Zile, for Indian Country TV.